race course presented in front of these athletes. It's actually a 5K race course, and the athletes will have to do that race course, go through that race course 3 times with a finish on the beach. And as you can see on your screen, we do have some top names, starting with the returning defending champion Michael Booth, who had a clear win last year in Gdynia, Poland at the 2022 ICF SUP Worlds. We actually have the full podium from last year here on the beach of Pattaya with Titouan Pouillot, who is the 2021 ICF SUP World Champion. We also have Clément Colmas, who was 3rd last year. He was actually leading for a while, or actually 2nd for a while in that in the long distance race last year. So that full podium is here. We have the presence for the very first time at an ICF SUP World Championship of Shuri Araki, who is probably the pre-race favorite right now, the 17-year-old phenomenon from Japan. And I can see the athletes lifting their boards. We've got lots of top names. I actually have a list of more than 20 top names who could climb on the podium today. You can see Aaron Sanchez, the Spanish Tormenta is here. Aaron Sanchez at the top of your screen with Antonio Morillo. Blue Ewer in the middle of your screen. Johnny Hagen from Australia is here. Paolo Marconi, also a very experienced Italian racer. We have lots of new faces coming from Southeast Asia. Contingent of more than 20 Chinese racers, but also from Taipei, from Hong Kong, and a big team from Japan as well. The favorite, the pre-race favorite, as I said, is probably Shuri Araki, based on what he's been achieving the past 2 years on the international scene, beating most of these guys and definitely beating some of the guys who were on the podium last year. He is in good form. He didn't do the sprints and is focusing for these World Championships mainly on the long distance and the technical race. Michael Booth is here, though, is here to defend his title. He will be doing the technical race as well. Titouan Pouillot, after first round of sprint hits yesterday, or on day 1, decided to pull out of the sprint competition, feeling that he was not that's a false start, and the athletes are going to be called back to the beach. I can hear a very loud race director in my ears behind me. I don't know if you can perceive that, but the athletes had a false start just a few seconds ago. So let's have a look at that list. From France, we've got Arthur Arutkin. He was 4th last year. Only 3 under the ICF regulations are actually going on the podium. But let's not forget that one of the best Frenchmen was also close to the podium last year. Arthur Arutkin is here. He will be racing on an infinity board. We've got Clément Colmas, who was 3rd. We've got the Tolad brothers with Ludovic and Jérémy Tolad. Noe Garyu, the new sprint world champion, is here, and I'm going to tell you maybe a secret, which is not going to be a secret anymore, is actually focusing mainly on the long distance. You know why? Because it's the only ICF world title that he hasn't got. He won the technical race in 2021. He won the sprints yesterday, and the long distance he finished 2nd. He finished 2nd twice in 2021 and 2022, and he once said, the horn was blown, and in the middle of your screen, Shuri Araki with his signature green hat is taking the lead early, as you can see right in the middle of your screen, followed by an SIC Maui board. I believe that's Ludovic Tolad just behind him. We've got another NSP board next to Shuri, On the left-hand side, I can see a son of a board with a great start. That's Paolo Marconi, followed by Itzel Delgado. I think on the Infinity, a very, very good start by Shuri Araki, the 17-year-old phenomenon out of Okinawa, Japan. But someone else is having a good start, and that is Eri Tenorio from Brazil. On that flying fish board on the left-hand side, very good start by the Brazilian who lives in Florida, USA, and who did well yesterday. He was 5th, I believe, in the sprint race. A good start by I think that's Paolo Marconi in 2nd right there on the son of a board, who was announced as a new son of a team rider just a few days ago. Actually, that's a Total Sub story which you can read on totalsub.com. Shuri Araki now positioning himself in 3rd. I believe it is Ludovic Tolad on the right, on his left-hand side. So that would be on the right of your screen with that Atlantis board by SIC Maui. I'm wondering where Noe Garyu, Titouan Puyo are right now. I can see Titouan right now in 5th place. That's slightly on the right-hand side of your screen. I think that's him on the NSP board right next to blue hat. Must be Noe Garyu, the new sprint world champion. He won yesterday ahead of Connor Baxter and an impressive Andrei Kreta from representing Bulgaria, who was leading for most of that sprint final until Connor Baxter and Noe Garyu surged in the last 50 meters, and Noe Garyu snatched that title, reclaimed that title, since he was the 2021 sprint world champion already. But Connor Baxter won it in 2022, and that battle in the sprints has been going on between these two men, the Frenchman and the Maui athletes. Connor, since 2021, look at that field, an impressive field. So the first buoy is that green buoy, which you can see about 200 meters away from the beach. Lots of top names here. I see a light board, corp board. I see a son of a board, and at the front it is Eri Tenorio from Brazil. Where is Michael Booth? Is probably in the mix right now, but in 2nd place it is definitely Paolo Marconi. In 2nd, I can see 2 starboard. I think that's right Taguchi on the starboard there, well positioned in 3rd or equal 2nd, with Paolo Marconi in 4th. It is Shuri Araki. Behind, it's the NSP board. I believe it is Titouan Puyo, but it could be Antonio Morillo. They from here they look similar. And in 5th place right now is Ludovic Tolad, the Frenchman. So no sign right now of Michael Booth, Noe Garyu, and Titouan Puyo. I guess they are not too far behind, and I can hear another horn being blown right now, and that is the start of the plus 40 women's, and we will have in 5 minutes the start of the plus 50 women with as you can see, some top names as well in that plus 40 category. Danielle Holdsworth being the one that I know most, as well as Sandrine Bert from France, and of course Susan Lear, who won all 3 disciplines in 2021, the German champion. She won, I think, 1 or 2 gold medals last year. We also have Eli Yarges, who is the 2022 sprint world champion in the plus 40 women's division. She was very unfortunate last year after leading the final in the first 150 meters. She lost the energy and the momentum in the last 50 meters, and she finished in 4th place. I would guess she must have been gutted by that, but she is doing the long distance as well. Who have we got at the front? I think that's Susan Lear on the son of a board, of course, followed by the new silver medalist in the sprints. That is Petronella Van Malsen from the Netherlands. I am not entirely sure who's in 3rd right now, but on the left-hand side, I believe that is the new no, I'm not going to say anything stupid. That is, I don't know who that NSP board is, but two Sonova at the front, one Mistral, one NSP, and Susan Lear and Petronella Van Malsen clearly at the front of that plus 40 women's division. And in the women yesterday, we did have, that must have been her, Olga Merkulova. Yes, that was Olga Merkulova. Just wanted to double check that it was her. Olga Merkulova was representing the ICF, was on that NSP board, so she is well placed. Petronella Van Malsen is in the mix. Ellie Yarges is probably in the mix as well. Actually, that woman at the front could be Ellie Yarges, because I think I recognized in third place, also on Sonova, and also a blonde athlete, Susan Lear. So it looks like the favorites in the plus 40 women are at the front already, with the new world champion in the sprint, Olga Merkulova, someone I know very little about, and I'm very eager to find out more about. Olga Merkulova, who represents the ICF. We've got the 50-plus women lined up. Some top names as well. We've got Marlene Berg, who finished third yesterday. We've got Polona Puciar, of course, from Slovenia. And so we have 3 races at the same time. I'm going to have to be a little biased here. We're going to, of course, make sure that we focus on the open men's division. That's where the pros, most of the pros are, and that's also where the prize money is, with some top international names. Of course, we're going to have a look at the start of the 50-plus women, and I guess one of the favorites is the returning champion, who snatched another gold medal yesterday. That is Penny Tsautu from Greece, and she will be racing on the NSP board. Who do I recognize here? I think it is Marlene Berg, right there in the middle of your screen, on the starboard from New Zealand. And yesterday, let's have a look at what happened yesterday in the final, or at least for the podium. Penny Tsautu won the gold, as I said a few seconds ago. Youngmi Kim from Korea won silver, and Marlene Berg, who's at the front of the start of that long distance race. It's a 10-kilometer race for the SUP women, as you can see on your screen. The open men are doing a 15k race, so 3 laps of that 5-kilometer course, and the 40-plus women are also doing 15k. It's only 2 laps for the 50-plus women. And this will be the third start of this morning. Then we will have another round of starts at 11 a.m. with the open women. Good morning, Rosalie. What happened to your alarm clock this morning?
Yeah, it's one of those mornings. Hello, Matthew. Hello, everybody. It's very windy down here on the beach, isn't it? I think I got blown away, blown off into the hinterland. Tough conditions for the athletes here. It's there's got to be a bit of a headwind going offshore here, so they will need to try and get into a bit of a slipstream, Matthew, I assume, and just try and pace themselves early on, because it is going to be a challenging condition. You can see there is not a lot of cloud in the sky. It's very hot again, but that breeze is very challenging. A lot of the athletes were talking last night, especially the athletes who were competing in the opening 2 days, just how exhausted they felt after racing in those really hot conditions. Very draining for them, and just hoping to get a bit of rest last night and then come out today and have another crack at it, because it's tough. It's the hot weather makes it very challenging for everybody, and we have to wait and see how they can deal with it. Some of the athletes, of course, I think you've already mentioned it, are very fresh. They haven't had the sprint racing over the first 2 days, so they will be a lot fresher and have a bit of an advantage, I think. Although maybe being race hardened, will help some of the other athletes who've had a chance to do a couple of sprint races already. But there's a few very tired athletes out there on the water this morning.
All right, we're back with the open men, and there's clearly a group of 5 athletes who are taking a different line from lots of other athletes who are spread out across the field. As you can see, who is leading? It is a starboard at the front, but we're against the light, so I can't tell really who that is. It is Rai Taguchi. So 2 Japanese at the front, Rai Taguchi and Shuri Araki. Rai Taguchi, both of them are from Okinawa, but it is the first time Shuri Araki, who is the I presented Ross as the pre-race favorite based on everything is achieved in the past 2 years. The 17-year-old who is taking part in an ICF SUP World Championship for the very first time. We've got Clément Colmas in 3rd place right now, so definitely a change in hierarchy already since the last time we saw them, and I think it is Noe Gayu, so 2 Japanese and 2 New Caledonians at the front of the race right now, and it is an NSP board, and you would expect Titouan Puyo, but I don't think it is Titouan.
No, I don't think it is.
I think it is Antonio Morillo from Andalusia, who is at the front. Obviously, I need to have a better visual. The images are slightly pixelized right now. I guess the wind is creating a little bit of chaos also for the drone pilots, for sure. But I don't recognize the stroke by Titouan. I think it is Antonio Morillo from Spain right now. We need to have a better visual of that. But at the front, it is again Rai Taguchi from Japan.
And as you can see, racing in single file. Tell me, Matthew, in SUP racing, is it do they have a similar sort of etiquette as they have in cycling, for example, where they may take turns to share the lead to buffet the wind from the rest of the field, or are they just happy to leave Rai Taguchi out there in front to do all the hard work?
Well, it's very much, well, as you can see, actually that draft train is going to shift as Shuri Araki is probably trying another line and trying to place one of his signature attacks on the Japanese. But it is very much down to every individual athlete as to whether or not they would expect to take turns or quite on the contrary benefit from being pulled by the guy in front. There's no real ethics, there's just rules, and it's really down to every individual athlete to do whatever they want to do.
It looks like there was a second chase group there, which looks like it's tightened up. It looks like, and now we've got a long train there, Matthew, of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At least 8 athletes there, 9 as we pan across. So 9 athletes now in that lead group, and here we have a chase group coming across to join on.
Or 4. I think I recognize Titouan Puyo in 6th place. I also saw an infinity board, and I think that is Itzel Delgado, unless it could be Arthur Aridkin, who was 4th last year. I didn't have a great visual there. Arthur Aridkin, who changed from Fanatic to Infinity this year. I also saw Ludovic Tolad on the SIC Maui board. That's a blue and white board. So a group of 9 now who managed to catch up that first draft train of 5 athletes. It's actually more than 9 now, as you can see from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, probably after a bit more than 1 kilometer into the race. We have 15 kilometers to go for that day 3 long distance here in Pattaya, and a course which with that offshore wind and these athletes going straight on the right hand side of the course means that they're going to have crosswinds pretty much throughout the 15 kilometers. We're hoping for some downwind legs that would definitely make for a good show on our screens.
I'm expecting very soon we'll start to get some information also on our screen. I know the team there, Marcos and his team, have been working very hard on the new technology, so we hopefully should have on the screen very, very soon some names, some numbers, and also just some stroke rates, Matthew. I think it will also get some distances between front groups and the chasing groups. But that is a big front group now. That is almost 20 athletes there who've snuck away there to the early lead. You can see by the current there of the water just how strong it is. There's going to be some challenges there for the athletes throughout this. It's going to be a very long 15 kilometers for them.
Yeah, and now in the lead, it looks like it is Shuri Araki, the 17-year-old athlete from Japan, on his first participation in the ICF SUP Worlds. He is leading over, I think it is Rai Taguchi now in second. Clément Colmas is in third still. He's the bronze medalist from 2022 in that discipline in the long distance. And Noe Gayu is currently in fourth. I think it is still Antonio Morillo in fifth and Titouan Pouillot in sixth. There's another NSP board in the mix that I expect to do well today as well. That's Christian Andersen. Don't rule out a Blue Ewer also on NSP.
Well, where's Michael Booth and Ty Judson?
That is exactly the question I was asking myself.
It looks like there is a breakaway. It looks like the front half dozen or so, 7 athletes are trying to break away again. But the chase pack is trying to hang on. So this looks like there's 7 athletes now in the front group just trying to sneak away. You can see a little bit of a gap. It's not a big gap, but just a gap opening up again. The second group had to work really hard to catch and to tail onto the front group. They look like they're trying to get across now. The angle is a little bit deceiving, but that is a very long train, Matthew. And yeah, I'm just trying to see. I'm looking for the Michael Booth trademark style there, and also Ty Judson. Great to have Ty Judson, the Australian, back again this year. You would expect he should be up there somewhere near the front group as well.
I'm gonna try and guess behind that first group of 7 paddlers. There was a few seconds ago a starboard, and that could well be in 8th position. Michael Booth, really hard to tell from here. We are in the back, but I recognize the NSP board of Shuri Araki in
here
first
we go.
place
Now
right now, in a change of cadence.
Now we've got some information on the screen there, and look at that. Currently, according to our information, it's Taguchi in front, Murillo, Puyo Garui, Marconi.
Paolo Marconi from Italy on the Sonova.
Who's nice and fresh.
Arthur Aretkin in the top 5. Okay, I don't see an infinity board, so hopefully that is correct.
Ty Judson there. Daniel Hosulio is there. Of course, Ty and Daniel both didn't compete in the sprint, so they'll be fresh.
They will be.
Paolo Marconi, of course, he'll be fresh. So there's some fresh athletes.
Daniel Hosulio was in the top 10 last year. He was 4th in 2021 in Lake Balaton.
I saw Bruno actually out at the sprint. He's retired now.
He has retired. There's a pretty good story to read on this on totallstuff.com, where he tells us why he decided at the age of 28,
just
quite earlier.
Had enough, he said. He's just given all he could to the sport, and he's ready for his next challenge.
Yeah.
As are you and I, Matthew.
I'm going for another 10 years.
My challenge was just to get here this morning, but so far to come. So there we have. Look at that now. That is a significant gap which has opened up there between that. There we have. There's Booth. Michael Booth's name has now appeared
in that top 5, which is surprising because
he's in the second group though. There's a 30-second gap between the front group and the next group. So there's according to our tracking, we have 4 in the top group. Let me just have it. I think I can count 5. So maybe one of those athletes has lost their tracker. But according to that information, there are 4 in that group. Then a gap of about 25 seconds to a chase group, which is now trying to get across to the lead group. Of course, this is still very early stage. In fact, that front group is a bit bigger than 5. That is, looks like there's 7 there, is there?
There is. It's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 7. And Rai Taguchi, I think I recognize the hat of Rai Taguchi at the front. On the right-hand side, Clément Colmas, dark-haired athlete on the right-hand side, and Shuri Araki with his green hat, now in second place. I think it is still Rai Taguchi, yes, at the front. It would be great to have the drone over them to make sure we identify them. Where is Eri Tenorio? He did start really, really well. Maybe that's him with a green board on the right-hand side now. And there's an NSP board making a move now. Could that be Titouan Pouillot? I think it is. I think it is Titouan Pouillot on the right-hand side over there.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to get a drone out there very, very soon. It's challenging conditions for a drone. It's very windy here. You can't underestimate how strong that wind is, and it's causing a little bit of havoc with our technical equipment, but we're trying to bring you the best pictures we possibly can and the technology, but we are pretty convinced that Raya Taguchi is up there in that lead pack. He's been there since the start.
Oh, a different line being opened by Arthur Aritkin on the right-hand side on the Infinity Blackfish board. That's a 21.5 board, and someone is following him. I think that's Titouan Pouillot. I think that's Titouan, and you know what? These two French guys might even work together on different navigation line. That's definitely Arthur Aritkin there on the Infinity on the right-hand side. So different choices of navigation as we have, as you can see clearly, crosswind coming from the left-hand side of these athletes, and Titouan Pouillot making, or is it Titouan?
I think, well, he's gone really wide there. So they're trying to get, they are, as I said the other day, and I'll use this saying again, Matthew, they're strung out like Brown's cows at the moment. Look at them. If you were a farmer and you looked out there and you thought, my God, I've got to get all those bloody cows into a paddock together somehow, and they're all strung out, there's no cattle dog in the world that can herd that lot together. They are really spread out now. Who has chosen the right line here? Who has chosen the best line? You have a big group on the left, you have a smaller group out to the right, and in the middle we've got a bunch of blokes who have no idea where they're going to go, left or right. They're just going to stick to the middle. Very hard now to get a bead on who's in front, because it's a bit like watching the America's Cup yacht race. You don't know until they get to the next buoy who will actually be in front when they come together and go around the next buoy. But I would say it looks like, according to our information on the screen, it's the same information that you're reading at home. It is still Raya Taguchi in front, Noe Guru, Titouan Pouillot, Mario, Booth, Judson, they're all there, but it's so strung out, you just would not know with any confidence who is leading at this stage.
Well, the field is so spread apart. There's definitely something going on as to navigation choices right now. They're coming back to the beach, so we are 23 minutes into the race, which means that in a few moments, we'll be able to find out at the end of lap number 1 who is actually in the lead. But Shuri Araki is leading that group with Raya Taguchi, the two Japanese at the front of that
That's
group
on the
of
left.
7.
That's the group on the
left. With Clément Colmas, Ludovic Tolad is in the mix. We've got Noe Garyu also in there, and who is the 7th? I think it's Antonio Morillo. I think it's Antonio Morillo from Spain, who's the 7th. Actually, there's another NSP board, and that could be Christian Andersen or Blue Ewer. We will need a visual confirmation of that. Then there's another.
Then there's a group of three
right,
starboards.
That's Michael
there.
Booth.
There's
That's
Michael Booth. Yep. And I think Judson there as well, is it? So there's 3 starboards there together, I think, Matthew. Is it chasing across now? But they are definitely the chase pack.
Yeah, in that second starboard could be Aaron Sanchez. Another.
Might be.
Someone is almost falling. That Clément Colmas on the left-hand side of your screen almost lost his balance and almost fell in the water. He recovered his balance just at the last second.
So this is a big gap broken out. Now, where is the group that went to the far right? They really went on a totally different line. I'm half expecting to see them cross in front of our screen in just a moment. They must have seen something there that lead group did not see.
And in the middle of your screen, or rather on the right-hand side, that's Michael Booth,
yes,
with Aaron Sanchez, with Ty Judson and Paolo Marconi. So a group of 4 paddlers. Are they behind? It's a bit deceiving that what you see on the screen right now. It's hard to tell if that group on the left-hand side has got a big lead over that group on the right.
Look at the flag in there, the buoy. That gives you an indication of how tough it is out there, how strong this wind is. One of the reasons I was a little bit late to the commentary this morning, I couldn't open my hotel door. The wind was blowing so strong, Matthew. I couldn't push it open, and I got a bit stuck. But look at now, this group here.
Is that a tourist in the middle of
surely not.
Of the sea?
No,
that's probably someone operating a drone.
I think it's a photographer.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, because otherwise I'm not quite sure what is going on there. He's having a nice old time anyway, sitting there just wondering what all the hubbub is about. But look at this lead group now. They have put a big distance between themselves and the rest of the field.
Ooh, I feel that someone is losing a bit of momentum there. Is that Clément Colmas?
No, he was at the back there. He was this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6, and then the athlete.
You know what? Clément Colmas, I think, is giving up. Look at him. He's not paddling anymore. He told me a few days ago, that's him at the back of that group. He told me that he pulled an abdominal muscle during training just a few days ago. That's why he didn't show up in the sprint competition on day one. And this is heartbreaking. This is the bronze medalist from 2022 who is just... look at him. Yeah, I think he's just giving up.
So I'm still a bit confused. You won't be surprised to hear that, Matthew, but I'm a little bit surprised about the decision that a group took to go really wide out to the right. I don't know what they thought. I mean, maybe in a moment it'll all make sense to us, but it just seems like they really took a very different line and have made this... Given this lead group of 7, a really big gap here to the rest of the field.
It's either a mistake and thinking that there's a buoy somewhere to turn around which doesn't exist, or it is them trying to get a faster downwind leg going a little bit further up the course on the way back to the beach. But let's focus on that front group with
There's a change in the lead now, I think, is it?
Yes, it is. Right on the starboard, followed by another starboard. That's Noé Gariou, and you missed that, Ross. But Noé Gariou, I have some inside information from his dad, actually, that he's actually, despite winning the gold medal yesterday in the sprints, is actually focusing. He's been training for the long distance. You know why? Because it's the only gold medal that he doesn't have at an ICF SUP World Championships. He won the technical and the sprints in 2021. He won the sprints yesterday. He was silver medalist in 2021 and 2022 in the long distance. So he wants a gold medal in the long distance too. And that's why he's sticking up with Rai Taguchi, who is the pre-race favorite.
So let's just, Matthew, let's run through now. We get a better idea now who's in that top group. If you can take us through it there from 1 to 6.
So first place, Rai Taguchi, Japan. Second place, Shuria Araki, Japan. Third place, Noik Gariou, France. Fourth place, Antonio Morillo. I'm pretty sure that is Antonio Morillo.
Of Spain,
of course. Yep. And I need to identify who's in fifth. I don't know if it is Christian Andersen, Blue Yua, could be Tai Judson. I don't think it's Tai Judson.
No, Tai Judson's back in the chase group, I think.
I think Titouan Pouilleau chose another line. And is in sixth place, it is Ludovic Tolad. So definitely a dark horse to watch out for. He won the Glagla race at the beginning of the year. He's definitely strong in the long distance. So we do have Pouilleau announced in that group. I just need to have a better visual confirmation of that. But it is definitely Antonio Morillo.
And according to this information, the chase group, which includes Judson and Booth, they are 120 metres behind already before the end of the first lap. Just going on that information we have on the screen and looking to the naked eye, it's a pretty big gap already after less than a lap of this race. So a big gap between the lead pack and the chase pack. The chase pack about the same size, so we have two groups here, and the athletes who went really so ignore those two paddlers on the right. They are stragglers, I think.
And you can see the cadence going a little bit faster there at the front with Shuria Araki trying to attack, but Rai Taguchi felt that and responded right away. So it's a higher cadence for these guys, and there's a tiny gap behind Noé Gariou, and Antonio Morillo will have no problem in catching up. Oh, hold on. There is definitely something going on there at the front. Look at that cadence now going up once more with Rai Taguchi. They're probably reaching the last buoy of the course, I suspect, buoy number 4. And I guess what's happening here? What's happening here? That
What the heck?
That's odd. Yellow buoy is creating a bit of a havoc in there.
Oh, that was totally confusing. I think right to Gucci.
So that is Titouan. Titouan Puyo is in 5th. Titouan is in 5th. Ludovic Tolad is in 6th. So 2 NSP in that group of front group of 6 paddlers with Antonio Morillo from Barbate.
Was that a mistake from Taguchi? I'd like to see that replay. He went to go between the 2 buoys and then changed his mind. It looked like he changed his mind at the last minute, and suddenly 2 or 3 athletes slipped under him, and he went from leading the pack to now he's sitting back there in around 3rd or 4th, I think 3rd.
Okay, well, the big upset of that first lap is to not find Michael Booth in that.
He's in the chase pack.
In that front group, it seems that he is in that chase group of 5 guys with a good 50-meter gap behind Ludovic Tolad. And I said buoy number 1. So we are definitely into lap number 2 for these top guys. Shuri Araki, now Noik Gayu 3rd, Raita Gucci 4th. It is still Antonio Morillo 5th, Titouan Puyo and Ludovic Tolad on the SIC Maui board. That's the Atlantis model, the ocean model by SIC in 6th place. So three Frenchmen in that top 6.
Yeah, and 2 Japanese.
2 Japanese.
So will they work together? That's the big question. I mean, you know these athletes pretty well, Matthew. Are they likely to work together? There's not much they can do to help each other, I suppose. Just maybe take turns to try and provide a bit of a slipstream for their teammate. But it's a little bit each man for himself out there, isn't it? Really, when you get out there 1 lap into a 3-lap race.
It is, and the pace is really high right now, but only a few of these athletes are capable of going into 7th or 8th gear in the throughout the course, actually, and one of them can do that a few times at a few moments during the race, and that is definitely Shuri Araki. That's the young athletes with the green hats in the middle of your screen.
What they definitely will do, this group, they will work together to make sure that the chase group does not there's a big news, big abandonment there in the women's race. Polona Polshar is out, just confirmed. We're seeing a few athletes now come up as abandoned, so pulling the pin on this distance race. What I was going to say, Matthew, is that this front group, they will work together to try and make sure that the chase group don't get near them, because they don't want anyone else joining that group. They're very happy to be out there at the moment, having the race to themselves. They would have had a chance when they went around that buoy to have a look back over their shoulders, see where the rest of the athletes are, and know that there's a good gap there, and definitely do not want to give that group any chance, especially a group that contains athletes like Michael Booth and Ty Judson and others. You do not want to give them the opportunity to catch you up.
I'm eager to find out, actually, if the production director is listening to us. It would be great to see who is actually in that chase pack, that group of 5 paddlers who are situated about 60 to 70 meters behind that group of that front group of 6 athletes. We suspect Michael Booth to be in there, as well as most likely Arthur Arukin, who had a pretty good start. Maybe Eri Tenorio as well from Brazil is in there, because he had such a great start, probably the best one actually earlier on. And
Kutong Ye, the Chinese paddler, he made the final yesterday of the men's sprint, and he's out. He's an early casualty. Li Yang, also another of the Chinese paddlers, he out as well. So it is testing conditions, and some of these athletes, although when we say testing conditions, Matt, you remember back to Gdynia last year, and it was incredibly testing, wasn't it? Remember that? It was we couldn't get a drone up, we couldn't get any cameras out on the water. It was so rough. We were basically sitting there in the commentary box with about 5 layers of clothing on, and we had no idea what was happening out on the water. For a moment there, I thought that was showing Rai Taguchi as abandoned, but no, he's not.
He's in the lead.
He's in the lead.
Yeah, 2 Japanese. Yeah. Last year was tough. Was tough for the athletes for sure. It was tough for us because of the crazy weather conditions. We only had a couple of camera angles. We didn't have the drone, which couldn't fly because of the rain and the wind. We even had a hole in the sand.
Yes, we did.
At the finish line, which created a bit of chaos
for the commentators, especially,
line, as well as for us, for sure.
Yeah.
Top 3, 2 Japanese. That is Rai Teguchi and Shuri Araki, 2 young men from Okinawa, Japan. In third place, it is the man from Numea, New Caledonia, the new
Whoa!
Almost lost his balance there with that crosswind. And who is the new 2023 Sprint World Champion. Managed to get that gold medal over Conor Baxter and Andre Crater yesterday. And in fourth, the one of the dark horses from Spain, that is Antonio Morillo on the NSP board.
It looks like this lead pack has been thinned down to 4. So who's dropped off? Titian Puyu's dropped off. He was in that top group, wasn't he? I can't see him there in that first. So that group of 7 has become a group of 4 now. The lead pack down to just 4 athletes. And very, very soon, I think, by the look of things, Murillo might be struggling to hang on here. Very soon, we could be down to 3. We could be down to 3 in just... by the time we get to the next buoy, I'm predicting this field will have narrowed down the lead group to possibly 3. But we're down to 4. In a moment, we'll try and get a look of where the 5th and 6th athletes have fallen back. Maybe they're dropping back to join the chase group, but that chase group is falling a long way back. Hopefully we'll get some updates on the screen in just a moment of what the distance is between the again
Wow.
Noit Guru just the wind, I think, giving him a little bit of trouble out there. But the 2 Japanese paddlers looking very strong.
Look how static on the far back over there the women athletes are. One of them is actually sitting down and paddling. Look how strong the wind is. We've got 20 knots of winds today, and that's just regular 20 knots. We've got gusts of winds of up to 30 knots. So there is definitely a strong wind playing its part in today's as a challenge.
Oh,
that's not Arthur Hurricane for sure.
No,
wrong match.
Yeah, that's definitely not. Unless he's...
Well,
you never know.
Unless he spent too much time in Thailand. That's
exactly. Yes,
that's
exactly.
what you were going to say.
Yep.
All right, Teguchi.
It is 2023, so don't forget. Yeah, anything goes. Anything goes in 2023, but we're pretty certain that that's not Arthur. So a lead group of 7 is now down to a lead group of 4. So it's always awkward, I think, Matthew, when you have a group of 4, because it always means one of these paddlers is going to miss out on a medal. And that, I think, when you get down to 3, you sort of think, okay, I can get a medal here no matter what happens. When there's 4 of you, though, you have to have in the back of your mind that if you make a slight mistake, you might be the one that finishes 4th. And when you go out in a long distance race and you work your backside off for 15 kilometers and get to the end and you finish 4th and you don't get up on that podium, it can be heartbreak, absolute heartbreak.
Yeah, talking about heartbreaks, you know that I have the feeling this is exactly what could happen to Rai Teguchi, leading so much in already throughout half of the race almost. Rai Teguchi has been leading pretty much from the start. That's a lot of energy, although he's got a bit of a lead for himself. He knows he's got the best long distance champs in the world behind him. So I think he should let go of that front position for a bit, just to rest a little, and in order to be able to potentially place a sprint attack later on, because obviously leading and pulling all these top athletes is definitely energy draining.
So the latest information we just had on the screen is there's 140 meters now between the leader, Rai Teguchi, and the chase group of Michael Booth. But I'm not sure that that's up to date, because it also had Titian Puyu up there
and Ludovic Tolad,
and he's not in the front group. There's only 4 there, and we can't even see Puyo yet. He hasn't come up on the screen, so that gap is really widening now. The front 4 are going out hard. They're really trying to shake off the rest of the field, and it's been a pretty successful move, you've got to say. They so far
And it all happened at buoy number 1, entering the lap number 2 of the of the course.
So there we have. Well, we've still got Puyo there in the front 4, but you're pretty certain he's not there, aren't you? Mathieu?
Yeah, that's a bit. I mean, what I see on screen doesn't matter unless it is Titouan. I mean, obviously we had a change in camera angle, but no, Morio is there, so that's definitely the NSP we're seeing on the screen. And Titouan Puyo is marked as third.
Well, according to that, there's only one Japanese paddler there in that front 4. Is that right?
No, that is not right. We have a starboard, and that is Rai Taguchi at the front right now. For sure, Shuri Araki has got that green hat, and it's actually Shuri Araki who is not marked, who's not called.
Because there's four athletes up there in that on the tracking, but he's not one of them. So anyway, we'll try. Maybe his tracker has fallen off. Some of the trackers fall off some of the athletes, and maybe he's lost his GPS, and that's why he's not appearing on the screen. So, look, I think the big change in this race came when they went downwind, and there was a group who decided to go very wide. And I think in hindsight they'll go back and look at that, Mathieu, and that'll be where their race was lost, because it just let that front group get away. And ever since then, they've been playing catch up, and they've now fallen right off the pace.
But yeah, and that bears the question: why take chances when you have the world's top athletes in on the field? Why not just follow them and see where they go? And right now, it is pretty clear that Shuri Araki is the man of the hour. Although Michael Booth has had an amazing season. But we hardly seen him so far in the race. I'd love to see the chasing pack, though. I'm eager to find out what's happening at the back of this front group of four paddlers.
I do know Michael Booth has been doing a lot of ocean racing training. He's entered in for the ICF Ocean Racing World Championships in Perth in a couple of weeks' time, and maybe that's been his main focus over the past few weeks. But I mean, he's a professional. You would expect he would want to come here and be challenging for a medal.
Yeah, well, slightly less races for Michael Booth on the sub scene, but still he had some pretty convincing wins. And we have
a chase group coming across.
Yes, and I recognize the Eri Tenorio in second. There's a starboard in first. Yeah, that is a starboard, but I'm not entirely sure that is. I don't recognize the paddle stroke there, the style. There's a Sonova as well. Manuel Oyuela, most likely on the Sonova. Manuel Oyuela from Spain could be the guy on the Sonova. Yeah. So that would mean that Titouan Puyo, Ludovic Tolade might have abandoned. That would I guess that would have been announced on our screens. That is a bit odd. Where is Michael Booth, though, is the big question.
Well, there's a reasonably sized. We haven't seen the whole chase group there. 1, 2, 3. There's 4 athletes there. Part of that is that Ty Judson at the back there?
I think Ty Judson is wearing a white hat, so I would go maybe for Titouan. Actually, it might be Titouan right there.
Now the angle is a little bit deceiving. It looks like they're making up a bit of ground, but I think there's still quite a significant gap there between the front group of 4 and the chase group of 4. But they are desperately trying to get across. They want to get across. There's still a long way to go. We're not halfway yet in this race, so there's still a lot of racing to happen. Now, someone's taking a different line there. Who's that, Mathieu? Can you see?
I think that's Titouan. On in the middle of your screen. So not following the chase pack of 3 paddlers, but going on his own in the middle. I think that's T2. I mean, where is he if he's not right there in the middle? He must be waiting on the beach then. So I think that's him right in the middle. But my question right now is, where is Ludovic Tolade? Maybe that's Ludovic Tolade actually at the front over there. Not entirely sure of the chasing pack. I mean, Ludovic Tolade was 6. And there's another group of paddlers on the left-hand side. Actually, if that camera could go on the left, that would be amazing. There's another group of paddlers in the chase on the left-hand side of our on the left-hand side, but it's out of the screen right now. We are reaching the half of the race, since we are in the at the second buoy, I guess, of the course.
So this will be the halfway stage of the 15-kilometer race. They've done 7.5 Ks, and at the halfway stage we have a lead group of 4, and then we have 2 Japanese, a Frenchman and a Spaniard, I think, in the front 4. And then we have a gap. It looks like it's close. A bit hard to tell. There's a couple of stragglers there from other races who are getting caught up with this lead group. But there is a chase pack. It looks like... Oh, goodness me. They're going all over the place there. It's very hard to...
These are the women's. The plus 40 women's. The plus 50 women's. The plus 50 women's are only doing 10K. So they should complete the course in about an hour and 20 minutes, I guess. And the plus 40 women are doing 15K. And we saw Susan Lear, Ellie Yarges, Petronella Van Malsen having a great start in that group. We also saw Olga Merkulova in the 40 plus women's category, and in the plus 50 women's.
So if that is Puyo coming there, he's gone very wide. He's now got to turn back. Now he's starting to turn to his left. He's got to get up and get around that buoy. This is very... What's he doing here? I'm not quite sure I can understand the tactics, what he's doing here. He must know something out there that we don't know, Matthew, because looks like he's taking a shortcut. He's cut across. No, come on, man. What are you going? Where are you going?
So that is D2 definitely... in fifth place right now, and there is it must be Ludovic Tolad actually with him right behind him, and not Manuel Oyuela. I might have confused that blue and white board for Sonova board. No, it's the SIC Maui board of Ludovic Tolad. So there is a group now of 2 paddlers. There is one athlete in the middle. That's a woman athlete. Nothing to do with the open men's race. So that group of 4, a group of 2. So basically, the 2 guys at the back of the initial group of 6 just fell back a little, and then in the chase, I think it is Ty Judson now.
Yeah.
Ty Judson with Michael Booth in. Ty Judson 7, Michael Booth 8. We've got I think it's the Sonova in behind him, unless that is the Eri Tenorio. So who could be on that Sonova board? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe Manuel Oyuela precisely, but we'll have. We need to get closer to these guys. Come on, take out the drone. Let's fly over these guys.
So lead group of 4, but look, to the naked eye, it does look like there is a chase pack, and Ty Judson at the front of that pack. Looks like they're getting closer with every stroke, so we may be about to see a regrouping at the front of the race, which will make it incredibly exciting going into the final lap. But we have just passed the halfway mark. There is still that group of 4 out in front. You can see them there. There's a green cap bobbing up. The green cap belongs to the Japanese paddler, and that they are the group in front. But you can see right behind them.
Mind you, Ross, at a previous race, I had my doubts between Ty Judson and Blue Ewer, who looked very, very similar. So we're gonna have to trust the GPS there, who's been calling Ty Judson as part of the top 10 athletes so far. So it must be Ty Judson in there. But between that group of that chasing group,
oh, there's some big news.
Oh, that's definitely a big news. Emmanuel Marcon. Wow, that was definitely a favorite for the long distance.
Yeah,
she was in the podium last year. She,
as I mentioned, the 2 days of sprint racing took a lot out of a lot of these athletes.
Look at what's happening on the back. There's a third group in the open men's, led by Eri Tenorio. That's the green board that you can perceive on the right hand side of your screen, with another NSP trying to catch up with that group of 3 or 4, or that group of 3 guys. And I think that's Blue Ewer. I think that's Blue Ewer with a blue hat, catching up on the very far right of your screen. At the front, though, it is now Shuri Araki, unless Rai Taguchi is still at the front. Anyway, the 2 Japanese are at the front. Noe Garyu and Antonio Morio are still holding on to that draft train led by the 2 Japanese. And behind them, where are
so in the middle? You can see in the middle of the course there's a group of 4 there. So we've got on the left, you can see the green hat there. That is the lead group, and then there's another group to their left on the right of the screen, and then Matthew pointed out there's another group, and you can just see them on the far right of the screen. They have once again. There's a group that's gone incredibly wide there, and maybe just hoping to get a tailwind to help them down to this first buoy again. But we saw that in the first lap, and some athletes lost serious touch with the lead group. So they're backing their judgment, though. They're backing their judgment that it's going to help them from out there. But at the moment, it's still a lead group of 4. And the chase group, hard to tell from this angle, but it looks to me like they are making up some ground, Matthew, but it is very hard to tell from this angle.
It is indeed, and the big question I have in my mind right now is, where are Tituan Puyo and Tajas? And they seem to disappear off our screens once in a while, probably doing some magic tricks. I see the group of 4 led by Michael Booth, and with Aaron Sanchez in there. There is Ty Judson in there, but where is Tituan Puyo and Ludovic Tolad? We just saw them in 5th and 6th position.
Maybe they went wide. Were they the group that went wide?
Must have been going wide as well, but they were not part of the of that group of 3 guys led by Eri Tenorio on the right hand side, though. So yeah, bit of a question mark there. Soon we will have the end of lap 2, and we'll be able to give a proper
so
list
now
of the top 10.
We're getting a better view now. That gap is still quite considerable, isn't it? There's as they come closer to the shore, we can see the gap is still pretty big between the top 4 and the chase pack. So still 4 athletes out in front. 4 does not go into 3. So just now, though, as we're starting to come down to the next buoy number 1, it does seem like we have dropping off. Is that? Oh no, they're tightening up again. I just for a moment thought that we had an athlete dropping off the back of that front group, but they've bunched up again. They are still racing together. They've got to get through some of this traffic in front of them, which is going to make things a little bit tricky as they come down to the next buoy. But at this stage, they have a considerable gap over the rest of the field.
You have to be impressed also by the strategy by Noe Garyu. He's been quietly waiting for his moment, sitting in. Look at him, hydrating himself right there in 2nd or 3rd place with the Japanese in the lead. He's been calmly drafting either Shuri Araki or Rai Taguchi, and his whole strategy is to basically follow those leaders and hope for an opening and place an attack in the sprints. It could be in the last 300 meters, 200 meters, 100 meters of the race if that group of 4 stays like that. But I have the feeling that Shuri Araki is probably going to try and do something, probably entering lap number 3, if not even before. I can see him at the front of the pack right there.
So we must be we must be getting close now to the buoy down here, and we'll get a very good idea now. And maybe we can see something in the body language. We can maybe you can cast your learned eye, Matthew, over the 4 of them, and give us your thoughts on who you think looks like they're travelling the best with 1 lap to go. But at the moment, this group of 4 have the race to themselves. The chase back, when we saw a different angle, it looked like they were getting closer, but absolutely they are not making much headwind at all on our lead group of 4, who really made a big move at the halfway stage of the first lap. And there we're getting on the screen now the speed of Rai Taguchi. Pretty good average speed, just under the 10Ks. It's pretty good in these conditions.
Well, absolutely,
Yep.
with this very strong crosswind. But who's looking more comfortable? I'm gonna go for Noigayu. Look at him, just cruising. Is being pulled by the 2 guys in front of him. Antonio Murillo is also playing a pretty clever game right there.
Yeah.
None of these guys have led so far, so really keeping as much energy as possible for a potential sprint finish. Now it is Rai Taguchi now taking a quick pause just to get some water into his system, and it is Rai Taguchi now taking the lead. So I was looking at the start list, a very, very long start list, 143 men taking part
Yeah, it's
in this
fantastic.
long distance. And I was looking for who could be that guy in the chase pack on the Sonova. There's one guy I haven't identified yet. I think it is Paolo Marconi. He's been announced as a Sonova rider just a few days ago. He used to be on the RRD for years. And he had a great start, and he's definitely a long distance paddler. So from Italy, potentially Paolo Marconi in the top 10.
So it's if anyone, I suspect, I don't know, Matthew, but at the back of that quartet there, Morello, I think, might be the one who might struggle to hold on. When we get around the bottom buoy here, I expect that the 2 Japanese paddlers will make their move. And that could be where it will be very, very testing for the Spaniard to hold on there. But look, maybe he's just paddling within himself at the moment. But he looks like, of the 4, he looks like the one who may be struggling the most. You can see there, just not really getting the rhythm going as we head down towards the end of the second lap. And there's some paddlers getting in the way there.
What has just happened?
I think we have
a group of 6 now.
Well, where did they come from?
We have a group of 6.
Are they part of the...
That's Titouan Puyol and Ludovic Tolade right there. So
Where-
they disappeared. They appeared again. Magic trick. Made in France. Titouan Puyol and Ludovic Tolade, who disappeared off screen, are back in the game. It's a group of 6 paddlers at the front of the race now. Surely those 4 athletes at the front knew what was going on, but obviously because we're limited with camera angles, we didn't know where Titouan Puyol and Ludovic Tolade went. But clearly, they chose a course which allowed them to stay at the front without us noticing them. Here we have our group of 6 paddlers back again. So it's basically a repeat of the finish of lap number 1 for lap number 2.
So were they racing to the left? They must have been out to the left coming down there. But I thought
think so.
Titouan Puyol had taken a different line to get around that second buoy. So,
Well,
I'm not sure.
It definitely spices things up here in Pattaya, Thailand on day 3 of the 2023 ICF SUP World Championships.
Wow.
We've got the pre-race favorites, Shuri Araki, clearly in the lead. The reigning champion from 2022, Michael Booth, is in the chase pack. We haven't seen much of him in that group of 6 paddlers at the front. We've got Shuri Araki now accelerating clearly. Look at
making
that
a move.
huge
Here's the big
acceleration.
move. Here's the big move. I thought the 2 Japanese would go for it around this buoy, and now they're trying to shake off a couple of these paddlers, because all of a sudden this group of 4 has become a group of 6, and they do not want 6 athletes as they head towards the end of this final lap. But they are strung out now. It's single file racing. Who has got the power? Who has got the stamina? Who's got the strength to hold on with 1 lap to go? It's been challenging conditions. I think you must be right, Matthew. The group of 4 must have known that those 2 athletes were out wide, and we're going to join them at any stage, because all of a sudden they've turned around and there they are, breathing down their neck.
And behind that group of 6 paddlers, about I would say 70 meters behind Ludovic Tolad, we have a group of 4 paddlers. We suspect Michael Booth is leading that train of 4 paddlers. I know there's a son of a board in there. I think that's Paolo Marconi. We also saw Arthur Aritkin that could potentially be in there. Eri Tenorio potentially be in there. Let's have that drone shot right here at that buoy number 1 of the course, just to make sure that we identify the group of 4 paddlers. So that would make it our top 10 actually, because we have a front group of 6 racers and a chasing group of 4. One of the big upset this morning is Clément Colmas. We saw it right in front of our eyes. Clément Colmas, who was one of the favorites also for the podium, the bronze medalist from last year, pulling out of the race due most likely to some pains in his abdominals muscle. And yeah, we've got that group of 4 now coming up. Who is at the front? I think that's a Red Nose starboard, most likely. Aaron Sanchez, I believe, from Mallorca, Spain, leading that group. Another starboard behind him. That is the 2022 world champion Michael Booth from Australia.
Oh, and there's going to be someone getting in the way here. Somebody is going to get in the way. They need to watch out. They need to be aware of what's happening around them.
So who's wearing that black hat? I think that's Paolo Marconi. Yes, Paolo Marconi in 9th, and the NSP, that is Ty Judson. So we've got our top 10 in this race. Lots of big names are missing in that top 10.
Yeah, where is Daniel Hosulio?
Daniel Hosulio, Itzel Delgado.
Yeah.
Arthur Aritkin, who was 4th last year. Lots of great names.
Blue Ewer, we haven't seen him. He's not in the top 10.
Yeah, Blue Ewer. Johnny Hagen, also from Australia, is missing in at the front of the race.
So the question is, there is no doubt about the quality in that chase group of 4, but can they make up this sort of distance?
Oh, there's a third group. There's a third group right here. Thank you, Mr. Drone Pilot. There is Eri Tenorio in there, so we've got our 11th, 12th, and 13th. So that's the starboard. Daniel Hosulio. Daniel Hosulio,
he's there.
Eri Tenorio, and that's the son of a board. And I think that is Manuel Oyuela in 13th place right now. So we have a top 13 identified as we are entering lap number 3 of that 15-kilometer long distance course.
And we had a great view there from the drone of the distance between the front group, which is now a group of 6, and then a group of 4, which is maybe about 100 meters behind, 120 meters behind, and then another group of 3 back another 100 meters or so behind. But the front group of 6, this has suddenly become very interesting out in front. We were calling the group of 4, and then as they came down to the end of the second lap, appearing like magic, like a puff of sprinkled fairy dust, 2 athletes magically appeared and joined the front group, and quality athletes too, joining that group of 4 and really making it interesting, and I'm sure sending some shivers down the spines of our lead group. But 6 athletes now. I wonder if they'll stick together or whether they will choose to take a different line again. We've seen some different lines taken throughout this race. The wind out there is providing some challenges, so some different lines have been taken at different times, and we've seen some. We thought Titian Puyu had made a misjudgment, but it turns out he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yes, he does, and you know what? That is one of his strengths. I was actually thinking, what is going on right now in Tituan Puyo's mind? He is the 2021 world champion. He is a great strategist, and one of his key signature moves was to take the lead early in the race and impose his rhythm. He was unable.
Oh, big move at the front.
Yeah, with Rai Taguchi, yes, taking the lead. But Tituan Puyo has got a big question mark right now that he's probably asking himself, should he try and make a move now, because he's probably 100% sure that he's unable to match the speed in a sprint finish with some of these guys. Noe Gayu, Shuri Araki, Rai Taguchi, of course, are really fast finishers. So Tituan Puyo, if he wants to do something to place a podium in this race, he would have to make a move now or settle for a place outside of the podium, most likely.
So the top three there, you can see that the lead three, they've been together for this entire race, and then we've got the second three who have just been hanging along. As Mathieu pointed out, they've not really taken their turn at the front. They've been sitting back off the pace, just letting everyone else do the hard work at the front. Really, it's been the two Japanese paddlers, Mathieu, who have taken it in turns in the lead, and everybody else has just been happy to sit behind, maybe try and get in the slipstream, maybe get a little bit of protection when possible from the wind, but they've been quite happy to let the two Japanese paddlers do all the hard work at the front.
Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be bothered with Shuri Araki taking the lead, because we've seen him taking the lead early in front of top international racers and maintaining that lead all the way to the finish line, actually extending that lead in the last 3 or 4 kilometers of a long distance race. So that doesn't bother me too much. What I find a little bit intriguing is Rai Taguchi putting a big show at the front in the first 2 rounds. I haven't seen him winning a race after leading for so long. Of course, he's got the potential for it, but that hasn't happened yet, or at least I haven't seen it happen yet. So is he going to pay leading for so long at the front of the race? We'll see in a few minutes.
So, Mathieu, just take us through the lead 6 there in order, so our viewers at home know who they're watching and maybe they can get a beat on their favourite athlete here.
So, since the beginning, it's been 2 Japanese at the front. That is Rai Taguchi from Okinawa, Japan, followed by Shuri Araki, 17-year-old phenomenon from Okinawa as well. Noi Gayu has been in the 3rd position almost from the beginning as well, followed by Antonio Morillo from Andalusia, Spain. Titouan Puyo is in 5th right now on the NSP, and on the SIC Maui board, another dark horse, that is Ludovic Tolade from France. So 3 Frenchmen in that top 6, 2 Japanese and 1 Spaniard.
So Puyo and Ludovic are the 2 athletes who joined. We'd lost them off the screen. We didn't know where they were, and then suddenly they are the 2 athletes who reappeared coming down to the end of the second lap and joined this lead group of 4. And now the question will be, when they go around this buoy in just a moment, will they stick together, or are they going to try and make a bit of a break for it, try and get a different line? By the way, we are keeping an eye on the women's 50 plus and the women's 40 plus. Both of those races now over the hour mark, and the women's 50 plus is of course 10 kilometers long, the 40 plus 15 kilometers long. We will, as soon as we get some word of the athletes crossing finishing lines or getting into the finish, we'll try and bring you some finishing shots of the finish.
Yeah, so I expect the top finishers in the women's 50 plus to finish in around an hour and 20 minutes.
Yep.
Maybe slightly. Actually, an hour with the wind. It would probably be 1 hour 10, 1 hour and 15 minutes.
I don't know if
on a normal course, but there's a lot of wind today.
If it's possible, if our people in central control are listening, if it's possible for them just to put up on the screen, maybe just the standings in the women's 50 plus and 40 plus. They don't have the tracker. Okay, there's no tracker on the 50 plus or 40 plus. So sorry, we can't bring you that, but we will try and get some pictures as they get closer to the finish line. But all our attention at the moment is on a very, very interesting men's elite race, and this group of 6, they are sticking together, and it is still Rai Taguchi in front. He is looking pretty strong. He's been there since the get-go, and they have a very big gap now between we saw at the first buoy there's a chase group of 4 which included Michael Booth, but he is so they are not on the picture at the moment, so there's a big gap there between the chase group. I don't think they can make up the distance now. They would need to do something pretty special to try and make up ground. But look, we've already been shocked once today. Don't put it past some of these athletes to shock us again. We're easily shocked. We're easily shocked, Mathieu.
Well, there has been quite a few upsets since day one of these 2023 ICF SUP World for sure here in Pattaya, Thailand, and expect some more for sure. Some magic created by Tituan Puyo and Ludovic Tolad just a few minutes ago is just one of many interesting moments that we've had in this competition so far, and it's not over yet. Shuri Araki, Rai Taguchi, the Japanese are leading and cleverly sitting in third and fourth. Noe Garyu and Antonio Morillo, Tituan Puyo, and Ludovic Tolad also from France, closing the march in that leading group of 6
So we have 3 Frenchmen, 2 Japanese, and a Spaniard. Is that right? Yes.
That is right.
Yep.
And we have 3 NSP, 2 starboards, and 1 SIC Maui board as well. There's obviously also a bit of a rivalry as far as the board brands are concerned.
So we have probably about half an hour left, I suppose. Let's just work it out here, Matthew. Yeah, about that, I suppose. We would expect the men to do around, what do you think? Around a 140?
Probably less than that, 15K. Yeah, probably less than that. Maybe an hour and a half.
Yep. The conditions are testing, of course, but at this stage, the pace has been pretty solid and pretty consistent all the way through. This lead group have not really given up the pace at any stage. They've been very consistent. And just
but
now,
look at the pace or the stroke cadence rather of Noe Garyu. He looks like he's just
having a Sunday stroll.
Cruising.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Enjoying a paddle down the River Seine in through Paris and taking in the sights.
Yeah, and all that energy saving, being in third all the time, might prove useful in a few minutes when the lions are unleashed in the last kilometers of the race.
Some of these athletes, of course, will back up later on today for the inflatable, won't they? I think there's I checked the start list. There's some guys who are doing both today. That's going to be a nice little day.
I haven't seen that start list for the inflatable race.
Pretty
but
certain that
we have a pretty good world champion. Huh?
Yeah,
Michael Booth has got the world title in that inflatable race. Is he actually signed up for the inflatable race as well?
I think I saw his name on the start list, so maybe that's his big focus here, although I'm sure he would desperately want to finish on the podium in this race, but I don't think he's going to. We haven't even seen the chase pack appear on the screen yet, so they are well off the pace at the moment. It's going to come down. Our gold medalists, silver medalists, bronze medalists will come from this lead group of 6 because they have moved well clear of the rest of the field. Still a long way to go.
Shuri Araki now placing a signature move?
So there we just saw a glimpse on the right hand side of the screen of the next marker, the next buoy. So they've got probably about 300 meters to go to get to that buoy, and then it'll be down, turning around, and maybe with a bit of a wind. It's a bit hard to read, but maybe they'll have a bit of a tailwind then as they head towards the finish.
Yeah, so most likely
there's your
a little bit more than 2.5.
There's your friend sitting out there in the middle of the
screen. He's actually fishing. It's not.
Is he fishing?
Yeah. So not a photographer at all, not a drone pilot either. This is just someone fishing in the middle of a world
championship long distance race. Just enjoying himself there.
I hope he's catching some good ones.
He'll be annoyed because these paddlers will be scaring the fish off. He's probably sitting there going, "What's going on? Get away! I'm trying to catch some shark, some gummy shark."
Welcome to TotalFishing.com.
Yeah.
Day 3 of a great fishing
not being
show.
very sun smart there, by the way. He's got the shirt off, just enjoying some rays on the back. But now the athletes are heading towards that boat there you see, and the green buoy. They'll go around that buoy and then they'll head for home, and we'll soon see. I'm expecting we'll see somebody when they go around this buoy pin the ears back and make a move. That could be when the move is made to try and split this group. They don't want 6 athletes charging towards the finish, because that's going to make for a little bit of a tough ending for half the field, half of this lead pack.
Yeah, so I reckon we are 15 to 20 minutes away from the finish. Actually, if that buoy is indeed at half of the course, so 2.5 kilometer away from us. So probably something like 17, 18 minutes away from the finish. And who's going to get that green buoy in first? I think it is still Raitaguchi, but Shuri Araki will have the slight inside advantage there, being so close to the buoy on the inside. Noigayu still in third place. He hasn't led a single time yet, as well as Antonio Morillo from Spain, Tito Ampuyo and Ludovic Tolad are in the mix. So expect some action coming up in the next few minutes, because someone will be crowned 2023 ICF Long Distance World Champion in a few moments.
We're going to have a new world champion.
He will have to make a bolder move than the others.
We're going to have a new world champion, aren't we?
We do.
We will.
We will.
Unless
Michael Booth
suddenly joins the field out of nowhere. But I think we are going to crown. Look at this. Now they've turned for home. Who's making the move? Is anyone making the move?
That's Shuri Araki now taking the lead clearly.
Taguchi hanging on though. Just getting right behind him in that slipstream. Looks like maybe, is it still 6 or have we dropped down to 5?
No, it's still 6. Still 6. Ludovic Tolad is closing that group. And Shuri Araki is now imposing his rhythm, as you would expect. 17-year-old from Japan is now taking the matters into his own hands.
So they are sticking together. Nobody is, although as I speak, somebody has gone. No, that's from one of the straggling groups, or it might be from the women. I think yes, that's from the women. So that's 6. They are stuck together now, stuck like glue. The 6 of them. They are not willing to let anybody get away and try a different line. If anybody dares to duck away, they will all follow.
Are we going to have a 2.5 sprint finish?
It looks like it.
Look at that cadence.
Look at
imposed by Shuri Araki, the 17-year-old at the front, trying to break away from that group.
So, Matthew, does the fact that half of that group, in fact, nearly all of that group, have spent 2 days racing sprint, is that going to be a factor here?
Shuri Araki was not part of
that's right. So
part of it. Noigayu was, Rai was as well. Tito Ampuyo cleverly decided to not carry on after. That's who is that? I think.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's not our race right now. That's definitely at the back of the race. Let's switch back to the front race, to the front of the race, please.
Right, there we go. We have still... Yeah, Shohei Araki didn't race in the sprint, so will that give him a bit of an advantage over the paddlers who maybe they're starting to feel a little bit tired now. The arms are getting tired, the legs are getting tired. Araki has that freshness, having not been racing for 2 days, sitting back, letting everybody else...
What's happening with Shuri? He had his head down for a while. Did he miss a few strokes? That was weird. That was weird there. But he's still hammering, and he is taking 5 guys with him, and they all want it. But Shuri Araki, yes, as you said, did not race in the sprints, and he's got plenty of energy.
He's the only one in that group of 6 who didn't. The other 5 all raced in the sprint, didn't they?
No, Ludovic Tolad.
No, Ludovic didn't. No, that's correct.
Didn't.
Yep.
He was on the start list,
right.
and he didn't show up. Tito Ampuyo did 1 race, and then saw that he wouldn't be able to get a podium finish, so he decided to. He had the 16th time, and he said to himself, "If if I'm in the top 8, I'll carry on. If I'm outside of that, I will let it go, and we'll focus on the long distance and the technical race."
Look at that big distance now between that group, more than 300 meters between that group and the Michael Booth group. So that is incredible paddling from this group of 6. They've just managed to go and blow away the rest of the field. I think that's the group there on the right-hand side. I think that's your chase group, but they are so far out of the picture now.
With Michael Booth, with Paolo Marconi, with Ty Judson and Aaron Sanchez. We've got Paolo Marconi on the right-hand side on the side of the board there. Michael Booth right next to him. And on the other side, that's Ty Judson and Aaron Sanchez. So we've got our top 10 separated by 300 meters between that group of 6 in the front pack, which is still bound together despite the attacks, the relentless attacks by the 17-year-old Japanese Shuri Araki.
Yeah, they're letting the teenager do all the work. They're happy for him to go out and set the pace. And he's happy to take them too. Look at him. He's saying, well, if you want to let me lead, I'll lead, and you just better try and stick to me because I'm going to really go for it. And he is putting the pressure on, but he cannot shake anyone out of this top 6. They are all hanging on. Ludovic there at the back. He's been there, just sitting there off the back since he and Puyo joined this group of 4. They've just sat at the back, letting this group of 4 in front do all the work. But it is the youngster, the teenager from Japan, who's really tried to make his mark on this race. The question is, has he got enough petrol left in the tank, because he's had to work really, really hard. And that's, I think, is that Taguchi on his left?
Yes, it is. Right, Taguchi now making a move.
Yep, and Guru on his right. So, well, the question will be,
well,
Matthew.
Gayu still in strolling mode.
Yeah,
as
sure.
you can see, look at that. Obviously, he's got a very powerful stroke, but
we
still
know
the cadence
and
is
we know if it comes down to a sprint, he's the man.
He's the man.
He's the world champion. He's the world champion. So
the strategy is working so far for the Frenchman Noe Gayu. Shuri Araki has been doing what he's known for, basically leading, but his attacks haven't worked so far, and we are probably 1.5 kilometer away now from the finish line, or even less than that. Change of direction there for Rai Taguchi. Maybe a bit of a gap there for Rai. I'm not entirely sure. This is the angle doesn't. Rai Taguchi now
going
really
for it.
attacking hard. Yeah, definitely attacking.
Well, he's taking a totally different line here. What's he seen? What has he seen? Where is he going? He's split off from the rest of the lead group. Has he spotted something that no one else has? Or is he out? Is he pulling out? Surely not.
Well, what we don't know from here is that
he's
in front. I think he's in front. That's very tough to say. Let's pull out the drone. Let's have a look at the action from the sky.
I think he's I'm
we
trying to.
We have a group of 5 on the left-hand side, led by a Japanese. That's Shuri Araki, aka Shrimpy, and on the right-hand side, another Japanese now on his own. He's been leading the whole time, but he is separating himself from that group of 5. Now we've got a group of 2 going wide on the left, and that is Noe Gayu, who is not drafting anymore. He is following Shuri Araki. It is now Titouan Puyo just behind Noe Gayu.
Look at Taguchi. He is out. I think he's pulled out. I think he's either. Surely not. But look at that.
No, it's just a different choice of line. Aiming for one last buoy. That would be the red buoy, and that they will have to leave on their left-hand side, and then it would be a straight line to the beach with a beach finish, I guess, under an arch.
Yes, it is. I tell you what, he's either a genius or he is completely blown this, because he's taken the risk. He's gone out by himself. Nobody went with him. No one went with him, and he's not even in shot now. He's to the right of that group, but you cannot see where he is. Suddenly he might reappear, like there seems to be a little bit of magic fairy dust. Now we have another split.
We
have another split, and there is Taguchi there.
Shrimpy.
Now where is he in relation to this front group? Wow, this has all of a sudden become very interesting. We've got a split there. We've got Taguchi now coming across. We're going to get an idea as he comes across now to join the lead group.
And in the middle, the 2 underdogs, that's Antonio Murillo and Ludovic Tolat. These 2 athletes, although they are very, very good in their home country, haven't had that much of a international exposure over the past few years. Although Antonio Murillo won a silver medal recently in a big event in Peniche, Portugal, in technical racing. So we'll see more of him for sure this week. At the front, difficult to say who is in the lead. Looks like Noe Gayu now is making a move ahead of Shuri Araki. But
Taguchi's going to join in front. Is he going to go straight to the lead here? He's rejoined the group, and I think he's going to move into the front. So he is a genius.
With Noe Gayu now going for the very first time in the 15-kilometer race, going in front, slightly in front of Shuiaraki.
So suddenly, I think it's down to 4. I think the 2 at the back there, Murillo and I don't think that they can hang on.
Well, you've got Titouan Puyo also, who's been clearly pretty good at choosing the right lines, and he's on the left-hand side too. So once we have that drone view, we'll be able to really call the shots. It looks like Titouan is definitely behind Rai Taguchi there, who's got a slight advantage over Noe Garyu and Shrimpy. At the back, it is Ludovic Tolad on the SIC Maui board and Antonio Morillo.
Taguchi making his move. This is where he's making his move. He went out by himself. He went wide. He left the other 5 to their own devices. He rejoined in front. And I think the casualty from all of that may be his Japanese teammate. He is struggling to hold on here to this lead group. But Taguchi looks full of running. He is really making a move now. There's a bit of a gap opening up. Is this a gold medal winning gap? But look at Garou. He is not letting him get away. He is sticking with him. The 2 starboard paddle boats are right next to each other. And the Japanese teenager just trying to hold on there, Matthew.
Great move by Noe Garyu there, who was able to catch up with Rai Taguchi and catch the train just behind the tail of the sprint board of Rai Taguchi. So it is Japan, France right now in the top 4 with another Frenchman at the back, Ludovic Tolad, with a Spaniard, Antonio Morillo. What a clever move as well by Titouan Puyo. Oh, although is Titouan Puyo losing the plot right now?
So.
With Rai Taguchi still pushing hard. We've got that drone shots, and yes, indeed, there is a big gap between that group of that leading group of 4 now, and 2 guys at the back. That is Ludovic Tolad and Antonio Morillo, but it is now a group of 3.
I think
Titouan Puyo on his own.
Yeah, I think he's in that no man's land at the moment. That is where you do not want to be. Just sat there stuck between 2 groups, and I think he's going to drop out now, which means that we'll have a race in 3. And I've got to say, Taguchi at the front, he pulled a genius move. Went out wide by himself. Matthew and I weren't sure whether he'd done the right thing, but when he rejoined in front, and now he's looking really strong. But I think Matthew, you've been calling it all along. Noe Garou, I think, has paddled a very smart race.
I have to say I'm starting to have doubts about what I was saying earlier. You know, I was intrigued with Rai Taguchi leading for so long, but look at him at the front. He is still very much pushing hard, and he seems to be able to have an extra gear as we are probably entering the last 1 kilometer of the race. Noe Garyu, yes, being very clever. He hasn't led a single time. He was just pushed hard enough to be able to catch up with Rai Taguchi, and we are entering, it's less than 1 kilometer for sure, because it is now the sprint finish we've been waiting for. We've got Rai Taguchi, Noe Garyu in second.
Woo!
We're going to have a sprint finish between 2 Japanese and 1 Frenchman. Noe Garyu, the 2023 new sprint world champion, is definitely the fastest on paper anyway.
We've lost him
He is in second place right now, but Rai Taguchi is holding on, losing his balance. The Frenchman going to take advantage of that. He is in second. We need to have a better shot of that finish. Here they come. We have 2 starboards on the left-hand side. That's Rai Taguchi and Noe Garyu now in the middle, taking the lead potentially. Rai Taguchi. I think
Garou is going to be the one, Matthew. Look at the pace. He's just still looking like he's totally in control here. Taguchi going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. But we know how good Noe Garou is. He won the sprint world title yesterday. And now look at him go.
Now Noe Garyu placing a signature move. He won gold yesterday in the sprints, a new world title. He's only 50 meters away from winning what he actually came for here in Pattaya, Thailand, a gold medal in the long distance. Maybe his first gold medal in the long distance at an ICF SUP World Championship. That's happening right in front of our eyes in 30 meters. Noe Garyu from Nouméa, New Caledonia, France, will be crowned the new long-distance world champion. Here is Noe Garyu for you, ladies and gentlemen.
What a race. You called it. And the teenager from Japan gets silver, and Taguchi gets third. That's a medal, but there'd be a little bit of heartbreak there. They worked so hard together throughout that race. But Noe Garou You called it, Matthew. He paddled the perfect race. Never ever pushed himself harder than he needed to. Content to sit back, let the two Japanese paddlers do all the hard work, and then backing his sprint abilities. We saw how fast he was yesterday. We were wondering how much that took out of him yesterday, but he managed to sprint over the top of the two Japanese paddlers to take gold medal, 2 gold medals in 2 days.
2 gold medals in 2 days, and crossing the line in 4th. Tituan Puyo in 5th. We've just seen him go outside the screen. That's Antonio Morillo in 5th, and Ludovic Telade, another Frenchman, a 3rd Frenchman in 6th place. What a great race also by these two gentlemen in front of our screen. And we've got a race for 7th right now between Ty Judson from Australia on the NSP board and Aaron Sanchez in 8th virtually right now. Michael Booth, what happened today with Michael Booth, the defending champion, who is sitting in 9th or even 10th position right now, and Paolo Marconi looking good there on the son of a board as well. In the top 10, you'll be pleased with that. Here's the sprint finish coming up for the 7th place between Aaron Sanchez on the right hand side on the starboard and Ty Judson with a white hat on the NSP from Australia. Aaron Sanchez, who didn't manage to get a grasp of that leading group at the front, but it's a great result for the young Spaniard from the island of Mallorca. 7th, Aaron Sanchez on the starboard, all-star, ahead of another great champion, the Australian Ty Judson, in 8th.
I think we also saw, I didn't get a chance to catch the number. Did you see who, I think we had the first of the 40-plus women cross the line. Oh, no, it must have been the 50-plus women cross the line as well. I didn't see who that was.
I think there was a tall blonde girl on the starboard. It might have been Merlin Berg. I'm not entirely sure.
All right, I think we are going to cross down now to an interview with our gold medalist, with our world champion, back-to-back. 2 days, 2 gold medals. Here he is, our new world champion. And now he has this world title to add to his other world titles. And I mean, what an impressive resume this young man has. Just so strong. He had those 2 knee operations, Matthew, which he said yesterday he wasn't sure whether he'd ever get back to his very, very best. And well, I think we've seen yesterday and today, not only is he back to his best, but he is probably as strong as he's ever been.
And now Daniel Studio crossing the line. We've got on the infinity board, that's Itzel Delgado, I'm pretty sure. And Ross, there is one piece of news that I've been saving just in case Noe Gayu was going to win this, and I'm going to, just because Noe Gayu allowed me to actually announce it, I just learned yesterday that Noe Gayu is going to be a daddy.
Way! Wow.
So he's got a few, not just 2 gold medals to celebrate.
Time to do that.
The 3-month period has been passed, and he said that he would gladly announce to the world that Noe Gayu, aka Chicken, is not a chicken anymore.
Nope,
you
he's
can
a
call
rooster.
him a rooster
He
for sure.
He is a big red rooster.
And that's a Greek paddler right in front of our eyes, in the middle of the screen. The Greek paddler on the infinity board.
Look, I've got to say, you know, in the distance, I mean, the sprint we saw on the opening 2 days, that just is splash and dash. There's no tactics. You just get out there and you go hammer and tong. The difference in a race like this is you do need tactics, and when the conditions are challenging, there was a strong wind out there, you have to race smart. And I have to say, I mean, I don't know that the two Japanese paddlers, they both were eager to lead. They led in pretty well for the entire race. I don't know that you would think that whether that would be the tactic to take into a long distance race like this in these conditions. Maybe every now and then you could just sit back at the back of the pack, get a breather, have a drink, have a look around what's going on, get your bearings, get to know what's going on. When you're out in front for an entire 15-kilometre race, everyone's looking at your back and they're just watching what you do. They're reading your body language. They're watching every single move you take. It takes a lot of pressure off everyone else. And I don't know, Matthew, in hindsight, that the two Japanese paddlers raced a tactically smart race.
Two different Japanese paddlers, as I called earlier. We've never seen Rai Taguchi lead a race and win it, and once again it is proving us right on the finishing third today. That's Rai Taguchi. On the other hand, Shuya Araki, we know he's been capable of doing that over and over again, so I'm actually surprised that he didn't have that extra gear entering the last kilometer of the race, because he has been able in many races in the past 2 years to actually break the field throughout the race at different stages and keep while extending that lead over the second position. He wasn't able to do that today, and I think yes, Noe Garyu had the best strategy today. He never lead until the last 50 meters when he put his sprint skills into action.
So we are about to cut down to an interview with and this is going to be exciting, it's going to be a surprise for us, Matthew, the winner of the women's 50 plus 10K race. I think we saw maybe the first athlete crossing the line.
All right, I'm going to take a wild guess.
Okay, go on.
Marlene Berg.
Oh, yeah, he's a wild guess.
I saw a starboard. Oh, no, Mary Buchanan. Mary Buchanan, of course.
So I used my tactical head and kept inshore, stayed out of the wind as much as I could. My all-star was absolutely perfect. It went upwind, across the wind, downwind, little downwind section really well. I'm absolutely stoked with that.
Fantastic. There's quite a close finish at the end there. You came in with the top three guys right in the middle of the pack. We were trying to dart everywhere, see what's going on. How was it to have everyone out in the field at the same time? It must have been pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it actually gave me made me put a wiggle on, because I saw another girl. It was really hard to pick out the bibs actually and who was who, and I picked an inshore line, and you never know, someone might have done a different line to me. So I when the guys came up, I thought, wow, you got to give it your all just in case. You haven't won until you're across the line. So that gave me a little bit of a push at the end, and then I could hear all the cheering, and amazing.
Well, congratulations, gold, and you're a spring chicken to the old over 50s, so congratulations.
Can I just say thank you to my team out here and everyone at home for supporting me. It's been amazing. Thank you to Starboard here and in the UK for providing me with the best kit. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right. We're quite a big support crew here. All right.
And you say Buchanan. I think we say
very good. We have one more.
You reckon she goes with Buchanan? I mean, if in the English version, we would definitely say Buchanan. But maybe you
he wants to do one more. We're going
to. You're a clever man, and I'm not. But
no.
I'm going to go.
You're the native English speaker.
Yeah, but maybe she's got some exotic sounding name, but maybe Buchanan does sound exotic. But I think normally you would say Buchanan, but let's just wait and see. Disappointing, there's no hole this year for athletes to fall in. Look at that, they all run through without any problems at all. Exciting though, look at that in the background, you can see where we are. There's our hotel in the background. We are in prime location here in Jompion Beach here in Pattaya. Big tourist area, a lot of tourists coming down to have a look. Maybe a few of them are seeing our sport for the very first time, and I reckon they'll be pretty excited by what they're seeing, because they are seeing the very, very best athletes in the world. And the great thing about stand-up paddleboarding, Matthew, and with Total SUP, you cover all sorts of levels of SUP board activity. It is really accessible for athletes of all levels. It's you see kids out on the SUP boards, you see dads and mums out there on the SUP board. It's the sort of thing you can get out and do, and I reckon there'll be a lot of
find out that they can actually do miles on a paddleboard, and it's actually a great exercise for the entire body and mind. And obviously now we are probably into the 15th year of SUP being a sport, and it's throughout the world with local competitions pretty much every weekend in the practicing countries, and yeah, make sure you join a canoe club in your local region to discover stand-up paddling. Who knows, we might see you in 2024 in Sarasota, Florida for the next World Championship.
And in fact, we do have recreational races here as well at these World Championships. We've got inflatables this afternoon. Inflatables, of course, a much more affordable option for people, and much easier. You can basically fold it up, put it in your backpack, and travel around the world with your inflatable. It's a wonderful innovation and a wonderful way to spread the word. And the good thing about stand-up paddleboarding, you can go to any waterway in the world, whether it's the canals of the Netherlands, whether it's the canals winding through England, or the rivers of Australia, the rivers of France. You can see people on a stand-up paddleboard just having some fun, getting out there. What a beautiful way to connect with nature. It is a really, really enjoyable activity. You don't have to set a goal to be up there like these athletes paddling for gold, but just imagine if you had that chance to be out there competing at a World Championships.
Thomas Grossup has just crossed the finish line. He lives in Mallorca. I think he's from the Czech Republic. And Majdan, also the athlete from Poland, has just finished his race. We have our top 10. So Noe Garyu in the men's won a second gold medal back-to-back after winning the sprints yesterday. He was able to get that gold medal that he so wanted in the long distance. Shuri Araki got second from Japan. Rai Taguchi was third. Titouan Pouillot, another Frenchman, in fourth. What a great result for Titouan. Antonio Morillo was fifth from Spain in sixth. Ludovic Tolat from France in seventh. Aaron Sanchez from Spain in eighth. Ty Judson, also a great result for the Australian. In ninth, Paolo Marconi from Italy, and in 10th, the 2022 defending champion finished in 10th position. That is a surprising result for someone who's had a pretty good season this year.
Well, I do think we'll see him in the inflatable race this afternoon, though. He is the defending champion in that as well. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a pat on the back there, Matthew, for your call of that race. You did we didn't have a lot of information on the screen in terms of numbers and athletes. Some of the distances between the camera and the athletes was challenging, but you did a great job, mate, of keeping across all those athletes. The only surprise we had was when the two athletes came out of nowhere and joined the top four. That took us by surprise, but great call, mate. You did a fantastic job without a start list in front of you and without knowledge.
Thank you so much. That's too much honor for me.
No, it was very, very good. I enjoyed it a lot. I just sat back here and just watched you work your magic.
Well, let's do it again, because you've got an open women's race coming at 11 a.m. 45 minutes. Here are the top 10 I was mentioning earlier on. So 3 Frenchmen in that top 10. We've got 2 Japanese, we've got 2 Spaniards, and 2 Australians. So SUP racing is not dead in Australia.
No.
Some what we've heard some time on the beach, and an Italian manages to sneak in that top 10. and that is Paolo Marconi. I was impressed by another Italian yesterday. He finished 4th yesterday, and we don't know much about him. His name is Davide Alpino. Unfortunately, because the ICF only celebrates the top 3 racers on a podium,
as does every other sport.
In other federations, it goes all the way too far.
Too far about other sports around the world. I think every other sport celebrates 1, 2, and 3. Gold, silver, and bronze. You don't have gold, silver, bronze, and tin. You have gold, silver, and bronze.
I wanted to give a shout out to Davide Alpino. He's pretty new to the international SUP racing scene. He's been having a great tournament competition here in Pattaya, Thailand. There's that right now from Puerto Rico, Mr. Cornier. I think it's Edwin who's just crossing the line.
So I'm going to leave you for a couple of minutes. I'm going to go down and do some interviews with our gold medalists. I think we've got a bit of a break anyway before the... when are we expecting the first of the 40 plus women? That'll be a little while yet, I would imagine. 141, 15 kilometres. They're on their last lap. Now, hang on, who's this coming in now?
Exactly, that's exactly what I was saying. Are we actually seeing the finish of the...
we might...
it makes sense in terms of... I think it's a little bit early, but they're definitely going left. So it's either a 50 plus woman finishing the 50, the 10 kilometer course, or it is one of the first 40 plus. I think we still have a few minutes to wait. Based on the wind conditions, they would probably go slower than usual.
I'll wander down there and I'll be back shortly, but you can rest up maybe for the big women's race.
Thank you very much. Obviously, if I see something on the screen, I will come back on the mic to commentate the finish of the Master 40 plus women finishing their 15 kilometer course. Interesting. We've got the second screen of the top 20. So we've got Eric Tenorio from Brazil in 11th place. That's a pretty good result. Manuel Oyuela from Spain in 12th. Daniel Studio 13th. So that group of 3 in the third chasing group did manage to stay together. And the first Infinity board is not Arthur Aretkin, but Itzel Delgado in 14th place. We saw the finish of Anastasios Tsouris in 15th place. Finishing 16, we've got Blue Ewer from Great Britain. Great Britain has just scored a gold medal in the 50 plus women category with Mary Buchanan. In 17th place, Fernando Perez. I expected slightly better from that guy, Fernando Perez, who's had some great international races, and in front of our eyes right now we've got the top finishers. So we've got Mary Buchanan, gold medalist in the 50 plus women's. We've got Anna Occhiogrosso from Italy. Penny Tsautu picks a second medal this week after her gold medal yesterday in the sprint. She finishes in third place, so bronze medal for Penny Tsautu from Greece. And we interviewed Penny Tsautu just a few weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, ahead of the Agios Nikolaos ICF SUP World Cup organized in Europe. The second one weeks ago in Florida. And that's it. We have our podium for the 50 plus women. So Great Britain, Italy, and Greece on that 50 plus women. I'm just going to finish what I was saying about the top 20 in the men's, and that is I stopped at Fernando Perez. We have Linus Carlsen from Sweden, a new international Tiki team member in 18th place. We have Jonathan Hagen, or Johnny Hagen, from Australia, so another Australian in that top 20. And in 20th place, someone we thought he was in the sprints the other day, but he didn't. He decided to pull out just to focus to accommodate to the local hot and steamy weather conditions, and also to recover from a heavy jet lag coming from Oregon, USA. Buddy Van Holman on NSP in 20th place. So that's our top 20. You can, if you go to Total SUP, and if you hit the article which says watch the 2023 ICF SUP Worlds live, you will have a memosoft.com link, and that will give you the full results, the live results as the top paddlers are crossing the line. I believe it's only the ones that have a GPS tracker actually that pop up on your on the results, but which are unofficial anyway. But obviously we will be publishing the full results very soon on social media and on totasup.com. Of course, we're still waiting for the finish of the plus 40 women, open women. We're probably not very far away from the first finisher, the gold medalist. I suspect Susan Lee or Ellie Yarges to be in the leading group because they did so well last year. But expect also some surprises. We did have a surprise name snatching the gold medal yesterday. That was Olga Merkulova from the ICF, but let's not forget that we have in the plus 40 women's field the presence of Petronella Van Malsen, who is competing in the now in the plus 40 category, and also Takayo Yokoyama from Japan, who's a regular on the ICF SUP World's Podium. That's coming, I guess, in a few minutes on our screen. So bear with us just a few moments.
ปี3-4 ลำนี้แบบดูมันแข็งใช่ผู้หญิงนั่นแหละมีผู้หญิง2 รุ่น50 บวกเข้ามาแล้วนะใช่น่าจะเป็นผู้หญิงวัยรุ่นแต่มา3 รอบไงผู้หญิงชุดนั้น
I think we have our finish for the 40 plus women. Welcome back everyone. This is Mathieu speaking. I think we have a sprint finish in the women's. We have Petronella Van Malsen in the lead. I haven't identified that athlete on the left hand side though, but Petronella Van Malsen, I think that's her right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
I think there's is there 3 athletes here or just the 2?
Well, we've got the 50 plus and 50 and 40 plus women arriving together, but I think it is the new
definitely
2023 world champion right there in front of our screen. She hasn't crossed the line yet, but we can probably call it because she's got definitely a lead over the other women.
592 is
Takayu Yokoyama, of course. Petronella Van Malsen is the 2023 plus 40 women long distance world champion. Petronella Van Malsen in first. Takayu Yokoyama, Japan in second. And that's only two paddlers at the front. That is it for Petronella Van Malsen after 15 kilometers, giving a hug to Georgia, a legendary photographer from New Zealand.
But I tell you what, Petronella will be very happy with that. She was saying yesterday that she gave some advice to the ICF paddler in the sprint race, which ended up possibly costing her a gold medal. So she'll be very happy today that she's come out and she's managed to take the long distance world championship gold medal. Now, is that our 3rd paddler there, Matthew?
Well, we have 2 paddlers. I'm not in the white hat. That's definitely Susan Lehr from Germany. She won everything in the 40 plus women's field in 2021. She is potentially 3rd, but I'm not sure. I can't identify really that. Is that a male paddler on the left hand side? It's not very clear with that black hat. I don't have the bib number either. But Susan Lehr on the Sonova in 3rd right now. who is that in front? Is that Seychelles just warming up?
I think that's one of the athletes warming up. She looked like she just walked out and got on the board. But if we can get the camera back to the finish line, I think we are about to see the. I think we're about to see the third athlete cross the line. Let's just see if we can get a shot of the finish line now.
Where did you come yesterday? You and Louis.
We're not going to get that shot, unfortunately, of the finish line.
All right.
Can we get a shot of the finish line, please?
Okay.
So Petronella Van Malsen
Yeah, you're great.
won silver yesterday, is the new world champion in the 40+ women's category in long distance. So 2 medals for the athletes from the Netherlands. Petronella, who has the support of Ricardo Haverschmidt, of course, her companion, who is also taking part in this competition.
Sounds okay.
We are going to see.
I think we're having an interview now. I think we're crossing down for an interview now with our gold medalist Petronella Van Malsen. Let's have a listen to our champion.
We have with us the over 40s winner, Petronella from the Netherlands. She claimed gold today. She got a silver yesterday. How was your race out there, and how are you getting all these medals?
The first round I was doing pretty well, and then in the second round I made one mistake. I was too much close by the beach, and then I saw the ladies more on the left, so I forgot almost one buoy. So I had to sprint and then catch up again with them. And then in the third round I had the draft again by the Japanese girl, and then at the end sprinting.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a bit an interval.
A full showdown, and you guys had 3 laps, so it was quite a long competition, 15 Ks. I know the over 50s did 2 laps, so 10. But how was it out there? I know it was really windy from here. How were the conditions?
Yeah, the first part it was choppy, and then at the end at the buoy you can go upwind, so that is good for me. And then when you're close by the beach it was okay.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your gold. You got 2 medals now, and then tech race tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the tech race tomorrow.
All right, good luck. That's Petronella for you guys.